Endometriosis explained. A new study has found cancer-related mutations in patients with deep endometriosis, an interesting find given that the condition itself is not cancerous. Endometriosis is largely considered a hormonal disorder, but these new findings open up new possibilities in the diagnosis and management of the often debilitating condition. The mucus that lines the inside of the uterus, called the endometrium, normally thickens and sheds in accordance with a woman's monthly cycle. But for those with endometriosis, the lining grows outside the uterus. It still thickens and sheds, but cannot exit the body, leading to irritation and inflammation. Adhesions often form in the pelvic area, and blood-filled chocolate cysts sometimes develop in the ovaries. The condition has no known cure, but patients can seek treatment to help ease their symptoms. Endometriosis can cause severe pain and is usually treated with painkillers, hormone therapy, or surgery.
Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews.
Pain. Sometimes you have no choice but to live with it.
Rare genetic skin disease afflicts Brazilian village. The largest single group of people suffering from a genetic disease known as xeroderma pigmentosum, or XP, live in Araras in central Brazil, where their skin rapidly breaks down under the tropical sun. The disease places an enormous burden on this community, as it relies on farming and outdoor work to survive. UV rays can penetrate the skin's thick epidermis to reach inner skin cells. While most individuals can naturally recover from exposure to sunlight, people born with XP do not have the ability to repair UV damage. Those afflicted with the skin disorder are highly sensitive to UV rays and are prone to developing freckles and small lumps at a young age. Many eventually die from skin tumors. The village was founded by just a few families in which several members were carriers of the disease. Researchers say that the geographic isolation of the region made marriages between cousins common, greatly increasing the incidence of XP.
Indian farmer enjoys going all-natural and has been for 40 years. Subal Burman is a 43-year-old man from a village in West Bengal, northern India, who is diagnosed with a form of dysesthesia. Dysesthesia, which is an abnormal, unpleasant sensation when someone is touched, is usually caused by damage to the peripheral nerves. The uncomfortable sensations can include pins and needles, burning, tingling, and a crawling sensation. Subal says his condition causes him excruciating pain whenever his sensitive skin comes into contact with clothing. He said ever since childhood he would experience a burning sensation whenever he was forced to wear clothing. He can't even sleep under bed sheets as the material affects his sensitive skin. Subal lives alone as a farmer and tends his fields and animals in the buff. His neighbors have gotten used to his nakedness and also know about his condition. Subal says his neighbors and the nearby villagers are used to seeing him, so it's not a big deal for anyone anymore. Subal says the weather doesn't bother him much, probably because he doesn't bother the weather. Subal explains that only summer gives him a little trouble because he has to take several baths every day because his skin is too sensitive to the heat. But the lonely farmer says his nakedness is probably what keeps him from meeting women. He says no family will allow their daughter to marry him, and what woman would want to marry a man with this kind of problem? Subal comforts himself that perhaps God sees him as someone special and views his condition as a blessing, even if it means he may be single his whole life.
Thai woman suffering rare disease has enormous hands. Holding a world record isn't always so wonderful. A 59-year-old Thai woman named Samakasama currently holds a world record for the largest hands, but the distinction has caused her a great amount of pain. A rare disease has made it so her arms won't stop growing. Each arm nails weigh about 20 pounds. It hurts like hell whenever she tries to move them. Samakasama has been suffering from the disease since her 20s. She's undergone surgery after surgery, but nothing has been successful. The doctors have been unable to identify the cause of her disease. They have suggested amputating to end her pain, but she says she does not want to lose her hands. Samakasama is currently making a living as a thrift shop owner.
Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews.
Study finds brain disease in 96% of former NFL players tested. Many young athletes dream of playing in the NFL, but what most of them don't take into consideration is the risk of brain disease. A study by the Department of Veteran Affairs and Boston University found that 87 out of 91 former NFL players tested suffered from a brain disease called chronic traumatic encephalopathy. CTE is a brain disease that researchers believe is caused by repetitive head trauma. Brain scans can detect signs of CTE, but it can only be confirmed posthumously. The disease causes a protein called tau to form around blood vessels in the frontal lobe. During stage 2, sufferers may experience rage, impulsivity, or depression. Symptoms of stage 3 include confusion and memory loss, as the tau protein spread to other parts of the brain. Stage 4 is marked by dementia, as nerve cells in the brain die. During the final stages of CTE, the brain withers to roughly half the size of a normal brain. A federal judge has approved a $1 billion settlement between the NFL and thousands of ex-players. The money will go toward medical exams, concussion research, and payment for damages.